Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumtown Podcast, episode 153. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Symphony Q Academy of Dance. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Laquangela Littleton. Quan, how's it going?
It's going great, going well.
Glad to hear that. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you for reaching out. I'm excited to do this and, just put out what I've been wanting to say and, introduce my field and what I do and, all of that, the exposure. So I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, here to talk about all the great things you're doing over at Symphony Q Academy of Dance. But before we talk about the business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. Born and raised in Opelika. What was your upbringing like?
My upbringing was nice. I came from high school where, it was totally different from being in Montgomery High School. Our band, we don't do high march. We do the heel to toe roll. So, I came from doing cheer and I did dance team. I even trickled over into kick line where you do dance with the band and stuff and do competitions. I've done like show choir. I did show choir all my years of high school. So, I was pretty invested into knowing that I wanted to be a creative artist.
Okay, sounds good. So you knew early on, just based on reading up on your story, you knew early on in your childhood what you wanted to become.
I did. My inspiration was Christy Yamaguchi when I used to sit and watch ice skating. But of course, in a small town like Opelika, we don't have ice skating because we barely have snow. So the next thing that I dove into was ballet, and I saw the grace behind it, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to do that." So I was pretty much into it all of my life, and I really started investing my time fully into it when I came to Montgomery, Alabama, and started at Alabama State University.
Okay, good stuff. So you got a chance to get exposed to the dance life, and it sounds like you had a very supportive village because I know that's a time-consuming activity, even as a child.
Yes, it is. And shout out to the grandmothers who take the time to take their grandchildren to all of those extracurricular activities. I am so thankful for mine. I had two that really invested into what I wanted to do, and they really made sure that I was able to do those things and partake in them. So I do want to say shout out to the grandparents who step in and make it happen for their grandbabies. You just never know where they'll take it. So
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And that's powerful stuff what you were just talking about. And it goes back to that old adage. It takes a village. And it sounds like your
yes,
village, they definitely supported you and put you in those environments so you can learn all the things you need to learn that you are applying to present day. That's powerful stuff.
yes, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. So you grow up in Opelika, then you make your way up 85 to attend the Alabama State University. What was the what was the HBCU experience like for you?
It was new. I did not know anything about HBCUs throughout school. My aunt, who is a graduate of Alabama State, and my cousins had introduced it to me, and they told me that, hey, they have dance teams there. And they were talking to me about the Stingettes and the theater program. And so my dream was to go to Joffrey Ballet in New York, but my family was like, "No, you're too young. You're not going that far." So I looked into Alabama State University, came and visited the campus, saw what it was about, and I was like, "Okay, this is nice." So started applying, and here I am, Montgomery resident.
Yes, ma'am. Good stuff. So the HBCU experience was something new to you, and I'm pretty sure by the time you left the Alabama State University, and graduated from the Alabama State University, pretty sure you made a lot of friends and a lot of great relationships just meeting people
I
from all over.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would have to say majority of my training that I received and the connections that I've received was on behalf of Alabama State University, the dance program, the BFA program. was ran by three individuals: Michael Metcalf, Caven Grant, and James Atkinson. And with the start of that program, as an inaugural student, they introduced a world of dance that I had never seen before, and that was Black dance. And so when we attended all of these conferences, and we had all these different artists come in from New York, Chicago, and these renowned companies, it just showed me like, wow, this is where I want to be. Like, I want to learn more about this stuff. I want to study this stuff. I want to learn about that company and that director and audition for these people. So, yeah, everything that I have now that I'm pouring into my students, I gained that during my undergraduate years at Alabama State.
Yes, ma'am. And it's so powerful because I know you were saying you wanted to go to Joffrey Ballet School in New York originally, and just how your plan and God's plan for your life was completely different, and then see how it all worked out for you. It never makes sense
Right.
when we're going through our go through because we want what we want, but sometimes what we want isn't the best thing for us. So hats off.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So hats off to your family for redirecting you to come on down to the Gump and attend ASU, and just good stuff hearing everything that you learned at ASU, you're now able to pour back into your students. That's amazing stuff.
Yes, yes. I'm so grateful.
Yes, ma'am. So let's talk
Yes.
about what you got going on present day as the owner and operator of Symphony Q Academy of Dance. What you got going on over there?
Yes, so we are actually celebrating. This is my fifth year anniversary of being open. And so I am the first Black Dance Studio Academy owner here in this area that caters to making sure that the students are well trained in ballet, jazz, modern, tap, and so many other forms that we offer. And I'm just thrilled to share my journey of creating this inclusive dance space where everyone can thrive. We do a lot of things. I have a lot of previous students who have left here and they found joy for dance while they were here and they wanted to pursue it. So the students that are out pursuing dance, there are some out that have scholarships that are currently at university. I have one at Troy. I had two that went to well, one is at Alabama State now, full ride scholarship, and then I had another one that attended Alabama State University. And I've had a bunch of students who've been traveling for summer training to Chicago, New York, all different types of places, Texas, Atlanta, just so they can figure out their niche and where they want to be in the performance world. So my academy is fully committed to empowering dancers of all ages through diverse performance opportunities. And we just foster a community that celebrates creativity and excellence.
That's
So we're trying
amazing.
to break those barriers and inspire the next generation of artists to pursue. Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's amazing. Just hearing you talk about the academy and just hearing that passion in your voice, just how excited you are for all you've done and will continue to do. I want to firstly congratulate you on making it to 5 years. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been rough because, you have your ups and downs as a business owner, but the important part is just keep pushing through. And, just like with how my career path went, I didn't go professional. I went more the teaching and education route, but you just never know like the things that you're going through, where it's going to take you. So you just push through them, pray about it, and just, keep it going and then everything will unfold.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. You're spot on with that. Like it just goes back to just being willing to go through the process. And like I was saying earlier, we have our plans and we have what we think, how we think things are going to
Mhm.
play out. But if everything went our way, we wouldn't learn anything, number one. We would be
Right.
very arrogant. But when you go through stuff, when you fall down a couple times, it instills that humility and it makes you grateful for when the winds start rolling in.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes,
Just got to
ma'am.
trust the process.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it also just sounds like hearing you talk about just the environment itself sounds like you all are just creating a family. It's a family friendly environment, and you all are just creating that safe haven for creators to come in and hone their craft and get to the next level.
Right. Right. And that's important. And it's important for our kids to come in and feel like they have that in order for them to fully be vulnerable to the process. And that was my biggest thing, is making sure that when they come here and they register, the parents and the child, I want them to feel like this is a safe place for us to be. This is the safe place for us to learn about everybody else that's here. Let's all help each other out with these shows. We're working together. We're making sure that this is going to be successful. The shows are going to be successful. So yeah, that's the big thing for SCAD. It's like we want a family friendly environment where everybody just feels safe around each other.
Yes, ma'am. That is powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So, whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, Quan, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. Take us back to your
Mhm.
aha moment when you had the idea to take your love for dance and turn it into a business.
So I've had my aha moment when I was teaching. I had been teaching for several studios around Alabama, and I just there was this thing that I would bring to my students as a teacher for somebody else that I always felt like, okay, am I doing too much, or should I take some of this down some? But when COVID hit and we had that moment to just sit and chill and think about things, that right there was like it hit me like I should just open my own thing and do my own thing. And I can teach how I want to teach. I can run it how I want to run it. So that for me was my biggest aha moment. Like, okay, I need to do this. I want to educate these kids. I want to educate our community about Black dance and that is there and is present. So yeah, sitting still during COVID brought all of that to me in my brain. So yes.
Okay, good stuff. And that's amazing that even in that time, that pandemic, yeah, it was definitely tumultuous, challenging,
Mhm.
fearful, didn't really know what was the next. We just knew on the news a lot of people were leaving here, and it was just a
Yes.
very interesting time. So, in the midst of all that chaos, you were able to identify, hey, I want to start my own academy. I want to pour back. I want to give back to the community. So,
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
It's amazing how in the midst of chaos, we can have clarity on the next step we want to take in life. So, that's amazing.
Right, right. Absolutely.
So from the time you had your aha moment, how long did it take you to take action in terms of coming up with a name and actually getting started with the business?
Oh, a week.
That's what I'm
It
talking
took me
about.
a week. It took me 1 week because I wanted to figure out a good name behind with a good acronym, how it rolls off the tongue for people because I wanted to be memorable. I didn't want to make it difficult. I just wanted to feel easy and it to resonate with people. So the name, the acronym behind it is SCAD. I know a lot of people say squad. But it's SCAD, and so it's just it's a name that I just want to. Out of all the 10 names that I went through, I was like, okay, this is it. That's it. I'm gonna do this right here. And then I have a best friend who's a marketing. She has her own marketing company in Atlanta, Georgia, and she came up with all of my logos and my colors and stuff. She helped me kind of build into it. And so it was a blessing to have her to help me through the process of getting it started and everything. So yeah, she did a great job and I love her to death. And I'm so happy that she was able to pour into me like that and get this started. And look where it is now.
Yes, ma'am. That's amazing stuff. Hearing you talk about just it took you a week, you got right to it, didn't sit around doing a lot of thinking and planning. You got right to the execution, which is important because a lot of times we can sit around and talk ourselves out of doing a thing, but you got right to it, got right after it. And also, I want to commend you for just utilizing your resources. Like I was saying earlier, when you were growing up in Opelika, how it takes a village. It takes a village
Mhm.
at all levels in life, and it's just amazing how your friend was able to bring her gifts into the fold
Yes.
and help you create the logo. Good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so thankful for her.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff.
Mhm.
So the last portion, audacity, is one thing to have an idea and put action behind it, but to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in my opinion. Who or what gave you that courage, that audacity to put SCAD out to the world?
My students, believe it or not, whether they know, just putting it out there and telling them and sharing some things. I've always been told you should open your own, you should do this and you should do that. And I was that when I was working for other people and stuff, like I was like, well, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. But it was just shocking how I did not have $50,000. I didn't have $20,000. I started this literally with $600 in my account at the time. And and all I could do was just, pray and trust the process and just ask God, hey, help me decide if I need to do this or if I need to go that route. What do I need to do? It's COVID, so everybody was having a little financial struggle. But I took that and I just figure out a way to grow it to where funds come in, you register and let it just pay for itself. Started small, and here we are today. I'm in a bigger building, numbers are increasing. It's just I'm so grateful and I'm so grateful for everything that's happened. And it's shocking, but it's like, wow. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and like, oh my goodness, I did all this in 5 years. This is freaking amazing. So
Yes, ma'am.
amazing.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's powerful stuff. And just hearing you talk about, just like you said, your students giving you the audacity and just putting that bug in your ear and you just going forward. And I appreciate your transparency about just the amount of money you had in the bank, because what that shows me is you had real faith. It's one thing to say, oh, I have faith, but to take the next step with $600 in your account, not knowing if it's going, not knowing what's going to happen on the other side, you just took the steps
Yes.
anyway, made the moves in the midst of chaos. It just speaks to your faith and just really just being, I mean, of course, we're all afraid when we're going through it, but doing it anyway. Even though you may have been terrified, you still kept the faith and kept going. I just want to commend you for
Right.
that. That's amazing.
Thank you. I had to stay fearless, hold the confidence. And I just kept pushing, took a bold risk, and hey, look what it all got me. So I'm excited for it. I'm thankful for it. And like I tell everybody, I'm like, don't focus on the negatives. You got to focus on the positive. So yeah, it'll take you there if you just keep believing and keep trusting.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. Just pressing forward and not getting caught up, like you said, getting caught up in the negatives, not getting caught up in the naysayers, if there are naysayers, because I have a theory about that. I'm not saying some people do have haters, Quan. I'm not saying haters don't exist, but I think most of the time we talk ourselves out of doing stuff.
Right, right. Yeah.
So that's
And that's
amazing.
what we gotta do. We gotta stop psyching ourselves out because that could be the motive of the devil. And we want to keep pushing forward and thinking positive. Like they say, you manifest the positive, you'll receive the positive. So I firmly believe that, and I've lived by that. I'm 37 years old and I've been living by it this whole time. And it's been working out just fine for me.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. So SCAD has done great things, and I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision.
Mhm.
What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the business you feel comfortable sharing?
Absolutely. One of my short-term goals would be to, huh, let's see. That's hard because all of them are long-term.
Oh, that's fine. Make them long-term. That's fine.
So a long-term goal that I have would be, of course, but it's to keep thriving. And I want to have multiple locations. I want to be able to play SCAD in other areas where I feel like it could thrive and it's needed for that community. And my goal is to make sure that the students are continuously growing and gaining and all of their reports after they leave these four walls are all great stuff, whether they choose to dance professionally or teach or even just do any other career. The stuff that I lay on the table and they gain and learn from SCAD and all my instructors, is all tools of life. So I want nothing but thriving students when they leave here. And that's the goal, is for them to stay with that mindset and stay confident in themselves and push towards anything that they have in their hearts and what they desire to do, that they don't let any negativity get in the way, and they have the headspace to stand strong in that. And that's the main thing here. Like, we try to build confidence for them to gain that. Um, and so, yeah, so that expansion, my long-term goal, I want to eventually be able to just pop in and not have to be at them all, but trust the staff that I have to run it and keep it afloat and keep my vision for each and every location going and pushing forward. So, yeah, that's about what I can think of for now.
Yes, ma'am. Those are great long-term goals, and I'm sure you'll make them all come to fruition.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, I work my hardest.
yes, ma'am. As we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you attending ASU, and now you're operating in business as the owner and operator of SCAD. I want to ask you, Quan, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
What I appreciate the most is the support. Um, I feel like there's a really good support system here. And without that, I feel like SCAD wouldn't be able to be SCAD. So just all of the support that I get from the community. Alabama Shakespeare Festival has done great things to support us. We receive great support from Alabama State University, along with Alabama Shakespeare Festival. So, having that community support to help you through a lot of stuff that you're trying to do and everything, and exposure, it plays a big role. So I do appreciate that about Montgomery.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. So,
Mhm.
Quan, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
Absolutely. So we're on Facebook and Instagram. If you just type in SCAD, SQAD, MGM, our page will come up. Please like, follow, and share. Share our information. Help us to spread the word about what we're doing over here at SCAD. We also have a website where you can register if you have anybody interested in dance. We take ages 3.5 and up. So the website is www.sqacademyofdance.com. And from that website, you can contact us via email or by phone if you have any questions. And actually, next week, August 5th through the 8th, we're doing a walk-in event for registration. So if you want to walk in, check out our facility, sign your kids up for dance. We're offering an inclusive deal where you get $30 off of your registration if you just walk in and register with us for those 4 days. It's from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday next week, August 5th through the 8th. So if you want to register, you want to see what we're all about, come check us out. We do Nutcracker every season, during the winter time. We do Nutcracker in December, which is fantastic because it's an all black Nutcracker, but we keep the classical form. And we love to have schools and stuff come out to that. So yeah, if you follow us on Facebook, you will stay up to date with all of that information, and Instagram. And that's SCAD MGM, where you can find us there.
Yes, ma'am. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Quan, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me. I enjoyed.
Yes, ma'am. Likewise. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone.